You have one new message. Translating. Disney and Pixar's Hoppers is now available on Disney+.
You could say that again.
Critics are calling it Pixar's funniest movie ever and a wildly entertaining ride. Blizzard Potato. It's certified fresh and verified hot.
Now we party.
This is incredible!
Wow, I am clearing the rest of the day.
Disney and Pixar's Hoppers, now available on Disney+. Rated PG.
When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
Welcome to Tuned Into Tennis. I'm your host, Myles David, and I am back with some more colorful tennis commentary. How you doing? Somebody told me to start off every episode with a "how you doing" now, because I was on Threads the other day and they were like, give a one-liner of how you would describe your show to somebody, and I was like, if my show could just be put into one elevator pitch, it would be like if Stuart Scott met Wendy Williams at a bar to talk tennis, or if they had a conversation about sports. That would be kind of me. I would be their love child on the mic, at least in my mind. Today is June 17th, 2026, and if you have not been paying attention to professional tennis over the last 2.5 weeks since we last talked, first of all, where have you been? Where have I been? It's been too long. Tennis moves so quickly, so 2.5 weeks, a lot can get happening, and we're going to cover all of that's happening in the tennis tour. We have a lot to talk about because we have two first-time Grand Slam champions in Mirra Andreeva and Alexander Zverev over at Roland Garros. It feels like that tournament ended and then we just went straight to the grass because we have lucky losers becoming champions already on the quick grass court season in London in the Queen's Club. Serena Williams is back on grass. I mean, literally, top of the show, things are happening. People are saying F-bombs on court in live interviews. More on that to come. We have injuries in the sport to talk about, wild cards, comebacks, upsets, all of it. Let's buckle up. I'm Myles David. This is Tuned Into Tennis, and let's get it started, okay? First thing I want to talk about, like I said, is Mirra Andreeva and Alexander Zverev winning Roland Garros 2026 on June 7th, 2026 in Paris, France. Alexander Zverev, Sasha, if you're nasty, beat Flavio Cobolli 6-1, 4-6, 6-4, 6-7, 6-1. Did I say that right? I got to make sure I said it right because Zverev even being a Grand Slam champion is crazy. He beat Flavio Cobolli 6-1, 4-6, 6-4, 6-7, 6-1. A 5-set match over 4 hours to win his first Grand Slam title at 29 years old. After 4 major finals, he has done it after losing a French Open final to Alcaraz while leading 2-1. If you go back further, in 2022, he tore multiple ligaments in his ankle against Rafael Nadal, the 14-time champion, the Hall of Fame. Shout out to Rafa Nadal. I need to add his episode. Is it a limited series? Yeah, I need to add Nadal's limited series on Netflix so I can watch that. I've watched the trailer and it's like dubbed in Spanish, I think, so I got to pay attention. It's not something I can like watch with my phone. But I respect Rafa, and Rafa is one of the best tennis players I've ever laid eyes on. Like, so I got to watch his Netflix documentary, you know? So shout out to Rafa. Anyway, Alexander Zverev is now in the company, I guess you can say, of Rafa being a French Open champion now himself. He did it. Torn ligaments, 1 year, 4 years later, he's a French Open champion. I mean, the man had been knocking on doors for so long. At one point, you figure his handprint is his hand's going to knock it down, or he's going to open the door, you know? He's been to 16 major quarterfinals, 10 major semifinals, 3 final appearances, including this one. He gotten the moniker so many times over and over. Anytime the segment would happen about him being the best tennis player never to win a slam, it was basically tattooed on his forehead, you know? And now it's lifted. He has taken that off of his forehead. mean, social media has been talking about it the last couple of weeks and days. Tennis Twitter, you can still call it Twitter, has opinions abounty and plentiful about Alexander Zverev if you search hard enough. A lot of people are looking at it from a very, this may open up his shoulders kind of energy, if that makes any sense. Because if you look at it from the right angle, he is a Grand Slam champion. He will forever be known as a Grand Slam champion, regardless of who he played to get there, how it looked on match point. He was the last man standing. And gosh, even saying all of that stuff is kind of crazy. Alexander Zverev, last man standing. But he is. All that other stuff I've talked about, if you've heard me from other podcasts, like the Gay Tennis Podcast and other outlets, even on social media, I've talked about how Alexander Zverev is a polarizing figure, especially when you introduce the fact that he has been through very recent credible accusations of domestic violence against 2 women, one of them bearing his child. So that's a little cloud over it, but I shouldn't say but, because how and ever, those 2 things exist equally. There's these credible allegations, and now he's a Grand Slam champion, so boom, we have to make room for all of them, I guess. It's not funny, but I kind of got to, I don't know. Zverev is a champion, whatever. He's the first German man to win the French Open since 1937, before the open era, before people considered tennis a modern sport. That was 80-something years ago. Can you imagine? 80-something years ago. Sometimes I stop and I'm like, can you imagine hitting a tennis ball 89 years ago or whatever? Tennis was different. The world was different. Maybe is that what they want the America to go back to? Like the 30s? Is that what MAGA be talking about when they say make America great? I don't know. I just be trying to mind my business. All right, for the women, I mentioned Mirra Andreeva is now a Grand Slam champion. On Saturday, June 7th, 19-year-old Mirra Andreeva beat Maja Chwelinska, who was a surprise package to the final. She beat her 6-3, 6-2 in straight sets to win her first French Open women's singles title. Mirra Andreeva is 19 years old. She's the youngest Roland Garros women's champion since Monica Seles in 1992. She's the 3rd youngest women's Grand Slam champion of the entire 21st century. She dropped only 1 set across 7 matches to win the whole tournament. And on paper, it didn't look like she came to play. She wanted to win her first trophy. And for those of you who may not be familiar with Mirra Andreeva and have maybe watched a lot of Coco Gauff matches over the past couple years, I was made fully aware of Mirra Andreeva back in 2023 at the French Open. She took on Coco Gauff. If you can Google and search those YouTube highlights, you may find a very young Mirra Andreeva. She's already young. She's 19. But even younger, she's playing against Coco Gauff. I believe took a set off of her and made that interesting. And I was like, oh, okay, she might be somebody to keep an eye on. And 3 years later, she's a Grand Slam champion. So that's pretty, in tennis terms, not like the quickest route to Grand Slam champion ever, but all things considered, she's literally a teenager, so she is now in the history books as a French Open champion. So Mirra Andreeva is hot right now. The conversation around her, I made an appearance on the Tennis Unfiltered podcast and was asked how do I think or how many Grand Slams Mirra Andreeva might end up with in her entire career. I think I chose 4, just to be on the safe side. The other 2 guests, or the 2 hosts rather, I think they did 6 and 7, and I didn't want to go 5, so I said 4. And if Mirra Andreeva wins 4 Grand Slam championships in her career, I would not be surprised at all. We'll see what she does on the next surface, Wimbledon. She's made a quarterfinal there. If she makes a run at the Channel Slam, which is winning the French Open and Wimbledon in the same season, then her stock is definitely going to go up. I don't know if that's going to happen, but Andreeva would definitely be a player to contend with in 2026, that's for sure. She's on the radar officially as a Grand Slam champion. So we'll see what's in store for her the rest of the year. And for that matter, Zverev too. I don't know where we go with Zverev being a Grand Slam champion. Quickly back to him. I don't know if it changes anything. It's so interesting because I feel like Zverev finally winning a Grand Slam championship doesn't change that much in the overall landscape of tennis. Yes, he's done it. We've always kind of figured he would be doing that in his career. I think he won his first Masters 1000 title in 2017. So here we are almost a decade later, and he's finally won the first Grand Slam title of his career. So it's been a long time coming, but it still doesn't feel like, to me, that he's going to just sweep the board because he's just like now opened up this sacred portal into his career. Like, no. Prove me wrong. I don't think it's going to happen at Wimbledon, his next deep Grand Slam run, but hey, you never know. And then for Andreeva, the feeling is different. This feels like actually she has unlocked something in her career, and the next time she shows up and finds herself deep in a Grand Slam, she is probably going to have a higher likelihood of grabbing the trophy because she's done it before, and she's only 19. So with health on her side, she's going to be challenging for more Grand Slams from here on out. So this is your first time hearing about Mirra Andreeva, which if you are really tuned into tennis, probably not. But if you're listening to this program and you don't know who that is, then Mirra Andreeva, keep an eye on her. Let's see, where else do I want to go? Keep an eye on somebody else. We're already in the grass season. I kind of hinted at Wimbledon. The flip from clay to grass is so crazy. I mean, just literally 2 weeks ago, a week ago or so, we were deep into clay season. I mean, like literally Roland Garros, and then where I stand right now on, what is it, the 17th? Like we are less than 2 weeks away from the next Grand Slam on a different surface in grass. Like it just comes all thick and fast, and it just keeps happening in tennis. And with it rolling like that on the tournament side, the calendar side, the tour keeps producing tournaments to watch, so you don't really get a time to kind of relax. So here we are. We're not going to relax. We're going to get into the grass season that's already underway. Where should I start off first? Who do I want to talk about? I mean, there's so much to talk about. The men, Shelton has won a title. On the women's side, Donna Vekic has won a title. They've been playing in Germany. They've been playing in the Netherlands. They've been playing in London at the Queen's Club. It's just all happening right now. So let's get into it. I think the first place I want to start is Donna Vekic. Donna Vekic had a miraculous run. Donna Vekic is actually a Wimbledon semifinalist back in 2024 and a Olympic silver medalist in 2024. So that pocket of summer 2024 was very fruitful for her. She had a miraculous run to the Queen's Club tournament champion, or the Queen's Club championship, I should say. From a lucky loser, she won the entire thing, and she beat Mirra Raducanu in the final to do it. Again, Donna Vekic, 29-year-old Croatian, like I said, 2024 Olympic silver medalist, Wimbledon semifinalist. She actually lost to Anna Blinkova in the qualifying of this tournament, and she was going to pack her bags and probably head to the next tournament, which is in Berlin, we'll talk about in a little bit. But that's how tennis goes. You keep on going. If you lose in qualifying before you can get to the main draw, you get into the next week, or you're doing something. So she was lucky because Marta Kostyuk, who made the French Open semifinal, she pulled out, and then she took out Mika Stojanovic. I don't know who that is, and I think that's a wild card from Great Britain. Then she took out Marie Boskova. She took out Karolina Pliskova, who's kind of having a resurgence. She took out British player Katie Bolter, and then she took out another British player who everybody knows from winning the 2021 U.S. Open, Mirra Raducanu, who was clearly the home favorite. She beat her 6-love, 7-6, and which actually was a pretty dramatic match, that match against Raducanu in the final. Donna Vekic is the 7th lucky loser in WTA history to win a singles title. She's gotten 500 ranking points winning that tournament. It's the biggest tournament of her career, or tournament win of her career. She rose from number 76 in the rankings to number 32 with that good week of work, and that is a glow up. I know she's happy about that. She gets her biggest trophy, her 5th WTA title, and it's pretty outstanding to just look at it from a micro sense, to go from lucky loser to having technically lost at a tournament already before you even get to the main show, and then get in as a lucky loser and win. That is some pretty epic stuff from Donna Vekic. I've kind of had a soft spot for Donna Vekic because she reminds me of Nicole Vadisova. Anybody remember Nicole Vadisova? It's just me. I've talked about this before, but she gets something about her. It's like Nicole Vadisova 3.0, 2.0 or something. I don't know. But yeah, she's a grass court, I wouldn't say merchant because she's proven herself on other surfaces, but I think she's one of the players that really enjoys the grass court season because a lot of players don't really lean into it the way they used to. And Donna Vekic, I think, is somebody that walks onto the court and is like, I've had some pretty good grass court results. Let me see what I can do out here, you know? And she has a big game, so big game, biggest title for her. Go Donna Vekic. I do want to make a point to talk about Raducanu because I watched I watched a good bit of the final that she played, and a couple of her matches, like the semifinal match, I believe she beat Eva Jovic, and that was impressive to me. She went through the whole the whole tournament until the final without dropping a set. She was confident, I thought. She looked pretty sharp. I mean, I always, for the last couple of years since Raducanu has won the U.S. Open, which feels like a long time ago in tennis terms, for real, and just numerically, it's going to be 5 years at the U.S. Open this year since she had that humongous win in New York. But she's easy to watch when you actually put eyes on her. It's just that for the last 5 years, she hasn't been consistently on the tour because of injury or illness and just a whole bunch of other stuff going on in her life and career. But when you do watch her and she's putting it together, I can totally see why she is back inside the top 32 in the world. Like, she has top 30 tennis in her. Just clear as day to me. She can get overpowered by some people in some facets, and that's kind of how Donna Vekic got the upper hand in this match, but I see top 30 at minimum for Raducanu when she's playing well. And I think the British fans really enjoy watching Raducanu play well. They love their tennis, they love their players, and then the Andy Murray Arena, which is where the Queen's Club WTA 500 is officially named, like that's the arena. I think that's so dope to be able to say, like, I've watched Andy Murray's career begin, and then now I'm watching arenas be named after him and people are competing in his arena. Like, isn't that cool? Like, I wonder if he thinks about it that way. Like, I have a whole arena like named after me. I'm Andy Murray. Welcome to my arena. I don't know. It's kind of cool. Back to the English fans, though. I mean, they turned that place into like a football stadium atmosphere, especially because Raducanu was waving the British flag. The warmth was real. She didn't win the trophy, but I think, she made an impact. And for a player, like I was mentioning earlier, who's had some public struggles with confidence over the last few years, multiple coaches, injuries, illnesses, I think stuff like that matters. She's heading into Wimbledon with form, momentum, and a crowd is going to be behind her. So I think some combinations of that are going to be pretty powerful. And if she's healthy, motivated, and playing well, Raducanu is somebody I wouldn't be thrilled to see across the net at Wimbledon. So shout out to her for making that final. And again, congratulations to Vekic for lifting that title at Queen's. We're in London with that information. Let's stay in London and talk about the impending tournament at Wimbledon, the third Grand Slam of the year. The Williams sisters have announced a return to Wimbledon. Can you imagine that? Wimbledon, Williams sisters, that's been the buzz forever. I mean, it's had social media in a chokehold all week about the comeback of Venus and Serena. On June 16th, Wimbledon announced that Serena and Venus Williams have been awarded a doubles wildcard for the 2026 Wimbledon Championships. Serena, Venus, Wimbledon together again, 2026 together again like a Janet Jackson tour. Can you believe that? I mean, the official Wimbledon poster said back together at Wimbledon. Even heavy hitter athletes like Angel Reese were in the comments like yes with a whole bunch of emojis. Other athletes, other people that have clearly been inspired by the Williams sisters story are talking about it and are excited to watch them play. Serena is 44 years old. She's come back from a 4-year competitive absence. She played her first match since coming back to tour at the Queen's Club, we were just talking about, in doubles alongside Victoria and Mboko. They won their opening match. The crowd was definitely enjoying it. Victoria ended up injured, though, and we'll get to that a little bit later, which ended Serena's run because Mboko had to pull out. But Serena is now in Berlin, and she just played doubles with Karolina Muchova, which I don't think ended well. Yeah, I think she lost that in straight sets. But, I mean, Serena's back on the court. She's about to play a Grand Slam match again. She is building fitness. She's finding her legs. And the funniest thing I saw earlier, scrolling Instagram, was that she made it a point to say Olympia told her to play with Venus. Olympia is Serena's first daughter. I think it's like 8 or 9 now, and she's letting everybody know that she runs the household. I know that's right, Olympia. She is making the decisions and booking courts for the Williams sisters now. And Serena was like, "Yeah, Olympia said you should play with Venus." And so I listen to Olympia now. Isn't that something? That is crazy. Venus and Serena have won Wimbledon together 6 times. They have 14 Grand Slam doubles titles as a pair. The last time they played doubles together at a major was the 2022 U.S. Open, and now they are back to playing at the place that has been very successful for them, Wimbledon. They've won 6 times. They even have a gold medal on the lawns of Wimbledon at the 2012 Olympic Championships or Olympic competition. They won Wimbledon. They won Wimbledon and the Olympics in one fell swoop that year, 2012. So, yeah, Venus and Serena are still headline athletes in tennis. I think that's amazing. They are tennis. You know what I mean? Like when you describe modern tennis for the last 30 years plus, you mention Venus and Serena easily in the conversation. Whether or not they are currently playing, whether or not they're going deep in the draw, just whatever, Venus and Serena, when it comes to tennis, are just locked in. And Wimbledon has played a huge part of that. So to see them getting a chance to play again is going to be incredible. I hope they are healthy and have fun and do a little damage, like roll back the clock a little bit. By the way, I don't know if this has gone viral yet, but I saw a quick clip on First Take on ESPN of Stephen A. Smith saying he don't give a damn about Venus and Serena playing doubles, and I'm like, okay, like what is this problem? I don't quite get it. I don't see what's the problem. I mean, they're both women of a particular age as playing a professional sport that requires a lot of intensity and passion and athleticism, and they've accomplished so much. This isn't like unprecedented for people to play doubles. I'm not mad at them playing doubles together. Now, if Serena wants to go play singles, I think that's what he was alluding to. Like, I want to watch them play singles. Like, I guess. I don't know. It's not that I don't want to see it, but I have watched a lot of singles matches of Venus and Serena, and they have made their mark. Matter of fact, I posted on Twitter not that long ago, like this week, some throwback clips of Venus Williams back in 2007 at Wimbledon. Look. Listen. When you talk about an athlete that knows her domain and knew like what she wanted to do specifically in her arena, that was Venus at Wimbledon. She's a 5-time champion. There's not many women that have ever picked up a racket that have more Wimbledon titles than Venus Williams. Serena Williams is one of them, her own sister. And Serena has incredible moments from Wimbledon. Like, they have so many, for me, I was born in 93. I didn't really get hip until like the mid-2000s, and I wish I was hip in the 90s, but there's so much footage literally on YouTube that you can go back and draw on of how the Williams sisters transformed and transcended tennis. So them playing in doubles is one kind of, honestly, like we should be happy that they still really want to go out there and compete, because it's not easy, especially with Serena being a mom, Venus having her ventures, being a new wife herself. Like, as a fan, we should all be grateful. So I don't know what Stephen A. Smith was talking about. I really don't. I care. Even if it's just doubles and they lose the first match, I care. It's the Williams sisters. We're forever grateful as a sport to have them, period. I feel like I was preaching for a little second. And while I'm preaching, let's send up some prayer, okay? Let's send up some prayer for healing for a couple of players. I mentioned Victoria Mboko, who was playing with Serena and got injured. The 19-year-old world number 9 in singles, one of the brightest stars in women's tennis, really, I think. She unfortunately slipped during her Queen's singles match against Pliskova. She went down hard, and we all kind of held our breath because it was pretty apparent that she was uncomfortable. She confirmed it's an MCL ACL injury to her right knee, and she also confirmed she's out for the rest of the grass season, which includes Wimbledon. That's off the table. I was looking forward to Mboko at Wimbledon. Just because I want to see how far Mboko can go. She's super young. She posted on Instagram thanking Serena for the opportunity to play doubles with her. She even apologized to Serena, which was super nice. So recovery to Mboko hopefully is something that we can see her back on the court. And even if she needs to take the rest of the season off, unfortunately, like Halle Baptiste has to with her knee injury, 19 years old, like sometimes you do have to zoom out and look at the macro and know that you probably have more time ahead of you to get back on the court and be super impactful and let the injury heal. So happy healing to Victoria Mboko. Also happy healing to Halle Baptiste, the world number 30, who's out of Wimbledon, obviously, with her injury that she sustained at the French Open. Hey guys, if you're enjoying today's episode, please take a look at the episode description, support the growth of the show by grabbing a coffee from the link, and while you're at it, be sure to engage with Tuned Into Tennis on social networks. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook is where you can find us. Leave a review if you like what you're listening to so far, and let's get back to the show. Another person that is injury on the sick and shut-in list, unfortunately, is Arthur Fils, the young Frenchman, top 20 player. He's dealing with the injury situation. I'm not sure if he's going to play Wimbledon. It hasn't been confirmed or denied, but he's pulled out of some grass court tournaments, so I'm wishing he gets well soon because the men's tour needs him, especially with this person that's on the injured and sick and shut-in list, Carlos Alcaraz, the defending two-time Wimbledon champion, withdrew. This is weeks ago, but he's on the list nonetheless. He withdrew from the entire grass court season due to a right wrist injury, and he's been out since the beginning of the clay court season. He made the finals in Monte Carlo, went to Barcelona, picked up the injury. We haven't seen him since. I know he wants to be out there. You can tell on Instagram he's itching and doing all kind of side quests, letting his hair grow. So we need him on the tour. I definitely miss watching some Carlos Alcaraz. But heal up, sir. Come back strong and do your thing on the grass courts because Wimbledon will not be the same without Carlos Alcaraz. So wishing everybody on the sick and shut-in list healing and health. Somebody who has been playing well and doing well in the avenue of healing and health lately is Mr. Ben Shelton. Mr. Ben Shelton lost in the Roland Garros third or fourth round, I think it was, and he's gotten right back on the horse. Like I said that at the beginning of the show, the transition from clay to grass is quick, and he's already gone to Stuttgart, Germany, and picked up another title. On June 14th, Shelton beat his fellow American teammate. Is he a teammate or just a compatriot? Compatriot. There, we're going to use that word. He beat his compatriot Taylor Fritz, who was the defending champion at Stuttgart, actually, and held a perfect record in grass court finals. He beat him 6-4, 2-6, 6-4. That was his first career title on grass for Ben Shelton, his third title of the 2026 season, following wins in Dallas on hard court in February and Munich in clay during April. He is now one of only two players, alongside world number one Jannik Sinner, to have won 3 or more titles this year. So on paper, Ben Shelton is having a good season. I know the Roland Garros exit, and maybe if you want to go back further, the Australian Open exit weren't high points, I guess you can say. You can't win them all, though. So to win 3 titles, 2 of them being a 500 in Munich and Dallas, is really, really good. He's also the first American man to win titles on hard, clay, and grass in a single calendar year since Sam Querrey in 2010. Did I get that right? I have to fact check myself sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, that doesn't sound right when I say it. And even his matches in Stuttgart, they all went deep. He saved match points in the second round, and then I believe he saved 2 more match points in a crazy tiebreaker against Yuri Lehechka, who has a pretty good grass court pedigree. So he was out of the tournament almost a couple different times, and he just does what Ben Shelton does. Ben is gritty. He's athletic. He has that really huge lefty serve, and now he's, putting it together more week in, week out. 3 titles in the season is really nothing to sniff at. And I think grass might be where he has his best shot to win a major. I mean, there's not a whole bunch of guys on tour that can say they have been to a quarterfinal of Wimbledon like he has and has won a title on grass. Like it's not like the slimmest list ever, but it's also not a huge list. And Ben's on it now, so I think his game translates well to the grass. Big serve, check. Explosive first strike, check. He's athletic enough to cover the court. He kind of reminds me a little bit of like, you might not like this, but he kind of reminds me of Venus Williams. I said earlier I was watching some highlights of her back in her prime, and just the way that the court is covered and the ability to be aggressive, I think some of that is in Ben's game, and it's probably going to come out even further if he wants it to in grass, so on the grass courts. So I think Ben is looking pretty good. We'll see what he does. He went straight to Halle, Germany, to play that ATP 500, which is happening this week. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like if he goes deep there, and regardless, really, there's evidence to show that Ben Shelton could be somebody that finds his swag or a level up in his swag, I think, on grass. I wouldn't be mad to see it. I mean, again, we all know what the looming stat is. There hasn't been an American man to win a slam since 2003. Who's going to do it? I think, all things considered, Ben on grass is a decent threat, especially to somebody like Jannik Sinner, Novak Djokovic. I'm not, pulling him to win until I see him deep in the tournament, but in theory, Ben Shelton, I think, has a game to translate well on grass and be successful. Somebody else who I'm happy to see that has had a game that translates well to grass and is also a lefty and also American is Miss Robin Montgomery. If you're not familiar with that name and are like, where have I heard that before? She is Robin Montgomery is a 21-year-old from Washington, D.C. She won the U.S. Open girls singles title a couple years back. You may also remember her from, I believe, 2024. She was playing the Madrid Open, and she gave Aryna Sabalenka all she could handle and pushed her to the brink. She's currently, before this tournament we're talking about here, she was ranked 484 in the world going to her tournament in Sertogenbosch at the Libima Open, which is a WTA 250. She came through qualifying for the last 10 months or so, roughly. She had been out with the injury, her right wrist. So yeah, all of like last summer and fall, she was dealing with that. She's come back. She entered qualifying in that event. She had played some lead-up events even to Libima Open. So she's been on tour very briefly, and to kind of come back in the first handful of tournaments or so and get this success is great, because now she's a WTA champion. She came back, she entered qualifying, she won 6 matches in a row to reach the final. She gets to that final. She faces Barbora Krejcikova, who's a former Wimbledon champion, ranked 45. Krejcikova didn't feel fit to play that day. She withdrew with a respiratory illness, which I tweeted on the day. I didn't really love the fact that she did. And I really want to see finals played, especially in tennis. So that wasn't great, but I get it, I guess. Like, if you're not feeling great, then go get your Robitussin, I guess. But But I wanted to see her play, especially because I knew Robin had a chance to win a title, and she did. Robin Montgomery is now a WTA Tour champion, the first professional title at the main tour level. Based on the fact that she didn't play her finals, some people might be like, oh, she didn't finish the final. She was out for 10 months. She won 6 matches on grass, coming through qualifying outside the top 400 in the world. I think that matters. You play against who is against you. She played against real players. She played against Daria Kasatkina, who's made a Wimbledon quarterfinal before. She beat Tomljanovic, who's made a Wimbledon quarterfinal before. For a 21-year-old, I think these are all definitely steps in the right direction. She earned her way to that final. Like I said, you beat who's in front of you, and sometimes your opponent can't do it on the day, and that means you were able to do it. So you get the trophy. She looked beautiful, celebrating it and just being kind of happy and excited and surprised all at the same time that was happening so early in her comeback. So kudos to Robin Montgomery. I think I think anytime you win your first title, that gives you kind of like whether you were thinking about it or not, whether it's like subconscious or conscious, that gives you like a stamp of approval that you're a pro for real, like you're in the winner's circle. And now she's in there, and you really never know what can happen when you kind of get that jolt of confidence. Some people struggle with it, they deal with the expectations that come along with that sometimes, but some people really allow it to thrust them into better, and you never know. Robin Montgomery has a big game. She went kind of viral, I guess tennis Twitter viral, because she hit a serve that went straight into the body of her opponent, and that is an OG Venus Williams tactic. Talking about the Williams sisters earlier, but lefty hard serve down the middle, I don't want to see it on grass. So Robin Montgomery, do what you got to do, sister. Congratulations on winning your first WTA title. And I'm not sure I don't think her ranking is going to get her straight into the main draw of Wimbledon. She's probably going to have to compete in quali. So I'll be on socials and keeping an eye on what she does from here on out. But again, congrats to her. And let's see what the rest of the year unfolds for Miss Robin Montgomery. Are we good on time? I think so. A couple more things I wanted to hit on. The men's version of the tournament that Robin Montgomery won in the Netherlands was won by, I lost my point. It was won by Kamil Majchrzak of Poland. Sorry, Kamil, for butchering your name. Kamil is Polish. He's 30 years old, and at that point, at 30, if people aren't really familiar with your game, if you haven't won a tour title, sometimes it feels like you may just be past your prime to do so, but he has proven otherwise. He beat 3 top 10 players in a row to win his first ever ATP title. He beat Felix Auger-Aliassime, he beat Daniil Medvedev, and he beat Alex de Minaur in the final, 6-3, 2-6, 7-6. 3 top 10 players in a row to win your first title is good, Mr. Kamil. Shout out to you. That might be a name top seeds will not want to face at Wimbledon. Don't know how that'll go. Sometimes the thing about the grass is it can get really tricky really quickly. Sometimes you're just like, how did they do that? And it's because the grass is such a niche surface. You really spend 3 to 4 weeks on it a year in a calendar that has basically 52 weeks on it. That's not a lot of time to do one thing, and sometimes it creates specialists or people that had no idea their game was compatible to it. All of a sudden, they're like, "Oh, I love the grass." So it all kind of happens. Oh, I know where I want to go. Quarantine Moutet. We're still on the grass. Quarantine Moutet, 27-year-old Frenchman, world number 36, known for being a great sport. No, he's not. He's a clown sometimes. He beat his compatriot Giovanni Mboko, who's kind of the complete opposite, just very militant out there. He beat him in the first round, 3 tight sets, and Mboko was doing what he always does, throwing down big serves. He had a serve that was clocked at 142 miles per hour during the match, and after Moutet eventually won, the BBC interviewer who was on the court was kind of asking about what it felt like to face the serve, and he somehow stumbled into conversation describing it. And I think at first he let out an F-bomb. He was like, it fucking sucked or something like that. And then he caught it, the interviewer caught it, and she was like, watch the F-bombs. And instead of him just continuing on with the conversation, he continues to say, fuck, 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 literally over 6 times. And the interviewer, you can tell, is trying to chug along throughout it and make it not awkward, but the crowd was laughing. It was kind of tongue-in-cheek and awkward all at the same time, kind of funny, very awkward for adult audiences, I guess. But clearly, Moutet is not somebody that I digest very well from the way I'm talking about this, right? But I will say, there are some players of color. I know sometimes we just like to say black, but I'm going to be broad here and say I think there are players of color who would not have been able to walk to the mic, stand in front of it, and say the F-bomb 6 or 7 times in London on the ATP tour and it be a joking matter on the internet, in the crowd, anywhere, especially in the lens of professional tennis. There are some players who would have gotten pushed back. And it's not to say that Mute has been getting, standing ovations. Some people are definitely hitting him hard. But for the most part, it's seen as like a little ha-ha, hee-hee tone overarching to it. And not sure that would be the overarching tone for some people. Not going to name any names. But you think about players who are black and brown and have been in the headlines for speaking their minds. And think about if they had said F-bombs on court, in a mic, in a crowd, at a professional tournament. How would that go? You tell me. Tennis, gotta love it. It clearly wants to be like this, exclusive, high priority, bunch of money around in the same lane with golf, country club kind of sport. Like, it clearly wants to be that too, but also there's like this tug of war to modernize it and not to keep it with a stick up its ass, if that makes any sense. Like, tennis can be like stick up your ass kind of sport, to put it, nicely, or put it more vulgar. But it's kind of always in that weird juxtaposition of leaning into it, leaning out of it, growing from it, growing away from it, leaning into it. Like, tennis is so interesting. Yeah. So I would love to see a little bit more consistency across the board. Like, are we going to be a sport that doesn't mind F-bombs sometimes, like within reason, or are we going to fine people hundreds of thousands of dollars for speaking their mind and default them and all the other stuff that happens to some players, So we'll see. That happened in Queens Club, by the way. We should look very quickly before I get out of here to the tournament actually happening in Queens Club for the men. This week is an ATP 500 event, and it actually isn't really quite stacked. I mentioned Alex de Minaur very briefly because he made the final of the tournament in the Netherlands. He is the top seed at this tournament, as is Yuri Lehechka is the number 2 seed. Who else is in there? Tommy Paul's in there. It's missing so many players. Who all did I put up in there? Who else is there? Brandon Nakashima is in the draw. Queens just looks a little. Queens is a little thin this year. It doesn't have Jack Draper, obviously. There's no Sinner. There's no Alcaraz. It's a little lean. So we'll see what happens. Tommy Paul is a former champion. We'll see what he does on grass. He's kind of a sleeper all surface player that can do it all on any given week. So we'll see what he does this weekend in Queens. The other ATP event leading up to Wimbledon is in Halle. Zverev, the reigning French Open champion, is on and about in his home country, holding his little trophy. He's happy he won his slam. He's back on court. Felix Auger-Aliassime is playing that event. And so I'm looking over my shoulder as people looking. Sometimes it's awkward to record when people can kind of see you through a door. Who else is there? Francis Tiafoe is in Halle. He's already beaten the Roland Garros finalist, Fabio Caboli, in the first round. And I actually think Francis is quite interesting on grass courts. I mean, he's synonymous with, like, going deep in New York and hard courts and stuff like that. But I think I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket because Francis can kind of break your heart. And, like, respectfully, he can break your heart. But I just would love to see Francis go on a run at the grass court and just, play some entertaining matches, see what he can shake off and disrupt some opponents. So I think there's avenues of his game that are really good on grass. I do. We'll see. That's just my 2 cents on that. Dang, there's so many tournaments in Germany. So many. I guess go Germans. The WTA is in Berlin this week. The draw is pretty stacked compared to the one I mentioned earlier for the ATP in London. We're talking Arina Sabalenka as a top seed, Elena Rybakina as a 2 seed, Coco Gauff, Jessica Pegula, Lena Svitolina. It's basically all the girls you can think of trying to gear up. And then the other thing I wanted to mention here in my notes is that Karolina Pliskova is is kind of coming back. She has dealt with a lot of injuries, and she made the quarterfinals at Queens because of the Mboko retirement and kind of gave Donna Vekic a good push. So we'll see what happens with Karolina Pliskova, because she is a former Wimbledon finalist, and that'll be interesting to see what happens with the robot of it all. Let's see. We talked about Wimbledon wildcards. Speaking of Wimbledon wildcards, Majchrzak got one, who made the final at the French Open. Her undoubtedly the biggest moment of her career. She's followed that up with a nice moment, getting a wildcard to play Wimbledon. I believe that might be her first time ever getting into the main draw of Wimbledon. We'll see. She joins a list of players who was announced by the Wimbledon Club of wildcards. Harriet Dart is amongst them. A bunch of other British players who I might not even know. But sorry, I'm all over the place. But the main idea is that Majchrzak has been rewarded for her efforts by getting to a Grand Slam final with a wild card into the next Grand Slam. Speaking of the next Grand Slam, I think Wimbledon 2026 is going to be something. I think it is always interesting when like the big headline of upset or didn't see that happening happens at the slam prior, and the context of what happens at Wimbledon, literally, like Carlos Alcaraz is out. That opens up some lanes for the men. The women's winners in Wimbledon have been a little wacky. I'm thinking about like writing something or making a video about a theme I've noticed at Wimbledon. But yeah, the Wimbledon has just been a wacky tournament on the women's side. On the men's side, it's basically just been Djokovic getting to every final, Carlos beating him, and then Jannik Sinner won last year. And Jannik is in an interesting little nugget of his career, I guess, with that whole French Open shock loss due to his physicality, I guess you can say. Physicality and cramps. So we'll see what happens at Wimbledon. There's a whole bunch of players I think we're going to be talking about in a couple of weeks and days that have come out the woodwork, because grass is just amazingly kooky at times because of the lack of time we get on it. And I'm here for the kookiness. It's usually colorful on that green grass. I mean, the green is popping. People's muscles are literally popping because they have to stay so low on the ground. It is a time at Wimbledon. I think if I'm looking at my notes here, I have come to a good point. If I've missed anything that you wanted me to talk about as far as tennis over the last couple of weeks, then holler at me in my email or my DMs or on social at Tuned Into Tennis. If you're enjoying what you're listening to, please make sure to subscribe to Tuned Into Tennis wherever you get your podcast, or on YouTube, Apple, Spotify. If you like what you're listening to, make sure you leave a review. It really helps me out. Subscribe to the show and follow on Instagram at Tuned In Tennis there as well. And yeah, let me know what you're feeling about Wimbledon. I've talked and rambled my head off for over 40 minutes here. Hopefully you've enjoyed bits and pieces of it and laughed along with me or chuckled, or at least it maybe have gotten you through a workout or a drive or something like that. Hopefully the sound of my voice didn't put you to sleep. Even if it did, that means you opened it and you listened. So for that, I appreciate you. Until next time, guys, I will be tuning into tennis for the both of us, keeping you guys up and alert on what's happening on both the women's and men's tours in professional tennis, and keeping it colorful. Let's keep it going. Let's keep showing up on this mic. I'm talking to myself and talking myself through it. All right, y'all. It has been fun. I will talk to you guys on the next episode. This has been Myles David of Tuned Into Tennis, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.